that knows everybody's dirty secret.
Including violence against witnesses to his kidnapping.
How many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think
Jaguar Wright has just unveiled the startling details about what Diddy and Oprah allegedly did to IceCube.
To sit there to pretend to be his friend on camera. But I mean, you kind of did the same thing with Luther Vandross when you humiliated him on his deathbed.
what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club. That pisses them off.
Allegations have emerged suggesting that Diddy and Oprah colluded to silence IceCube for speaking out against their elite circle.
What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing. So, ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, on the big three for a long time, and you know how they've been working with me with that. I done made it plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing,
Recently, IceCube made it clear that he has no ties to Diddy, who is currently facing serious allegations related to sex trafficking. During a Las Vegas concert, the 55-year-old rapper told the audience, almost 40 years rocking the mic, and I'm going to tell you right now, me and WC ain't never been to a Diddy party. This moment was captured in a TikTok video as Diddy's legal issues continue to unfold. As past stories and videos of celebrities at Diddy's infamous parties resurface, one clip features Diddy suggesting that locking women in at parties created a killer party. Both Diddy and Oprah are known to protect their empires and exploit those around them. Oprah, in particular, has faced criticism for her history of leveraging people and situations for her own gain. Many have begun to recognize that she is more focused on maintaining the status quo, with commentator Sam Cedar being notably vocal about this.
With Oprah is that she doesn't really, and maybe she does, and she's just sort of been hiding it all this time, but she doesn't really seem to understand the question of power, of systems. And so, if she came out tomorrow and said, like, look, we got some real problems with antitrust issues and with wealth inequality, that we need to structurally change things, and we need to card check. That's the one thing that we really need to. If those things were happening, I would be like, all right, probably could vote for Oprah.
She did a panel where Ahmed Chalabi's right hand or spokesperson was by far the most ethical person on it, because at least they had a personal financial self-interest in it. Judith Miller was like a line. Maybe they all had fine. They did. Because who else would know who Kenneth Pollock is if he didn't write that friggin' book?
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
There's nothing like having Curveball's right-hand man on your show to prove that we should go to war.
Yeah, and then also, and the first one was Judith Miller. Right.
Yeah,
great.
It was
great stuff.
She's gonna launch the wokest drone strikes.
The wokest drone strikes.
The public's affection for her isn't what it once was.
The internet is waking up about this long forehead velociraptor looking ass. I am so tired of Oprah, I really am. All these people in the world got a problem with you, and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji. Come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm gonna pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Get the land away, baby. Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. Give the land back, baby. So anyway, it's been nice seeing the internet drag Oprah. I know Monique is so happy that the internet is finally waking up about Oprah. Like, she gives me the worst vibes ever. And the first red flag was that billionaire shit. That was the first red flag for me. But then she kept having issues with people, and people kept talking about their issues with her, and I'm just like, ooh, you a real nasty type of.
One of the most concerning allegations against her, particularly in light of recent events, is that she may have used her South African school as a cover for trafficking minors.
could manage what was going to happen in their lives. And so often what happens when you release it, it comes back to you. So that's what's happening. It's just everything comes together at a point where you understand that your life is bigger than you ever imagined. You know, I never had children. Never even thought I would have children. And now I have $152, expecting 75 more next.
And it only gets worse, folks.
The former employee of who was working at OprahWinfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. She was arrested yesterday for several charges, including assault, indecent assault, as well as soliciting girls under the age to commit indecent assault. And she's now at the Vereniging Police Cells.
I told him a check out for that. Thank you.
I think the school has been open because they handed us a report of what was happening there, and they asked us to investigate what was happening there. And on our investigation, we arrested a woman who is a former employee. I think they have been open to make sure that all the criminal acts that have been taken place in the school are being investigated.
When whispers began to circulate about what was really happening at her school, Oprah responded in a bafflingly insincere manner.
Range is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's head mistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for seeing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
That doesn't seem credible at all.
To believe that you can take them as property and live them and sell them and it's something from the dark ages, it is just so horrific.
It was called Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, and I had girls there from grade 8 to 12. But look how weird this is. Number of students, 322. The faculty members, 666.
Now there's an entire situation involving missing children in South Africa.
Africa has seen a huge spike in child kidnapping and murder in the last few months. Civil organizations are worried that the country is losing its fight against the menace. Our reporter, Kaltna Ongu, has filed this story.
Over the past few months, several posters like these have been circulating on social media. We're pleased to help find these missing children who have been allegedly kidnapped. Communities and civil society organizations believe that the issue of kidnapping is getting out of hand. According to the South African Police Service Missing Persons Bureau, a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. A non-profit group, Missing Children South Africa, says the country is losing the fight against the rising number of child kidnapping.
This feels too coincidental to be true, especially given that she was named on a list linked to Jeffrey Epstein, and we all know how he operated.
So many years being silenced, not only by the perpetrators that have but also by society, and I'm tired of being silenced. I would like to make it very clear, Ghislaine is as guilty, if not worse, than Jeffrey. It was very difficult for me, a very vulnerable, naive 22-year-old. All of a sudden, I'm thrown into the sex trafficking ring, and once you're in, you can't escape. Ghislaine was the chief orchestrator. She engineered everything. You answered to Ghislaine. This is the same woman that grabbed my arm and forced me into a room to be raped. by Jeffrey. None of us were safe with Jeffrey alive. And none of us are safe with Ghislaine and the co-conspirators out in the streets. Ghislaine needs to be behind bars for the rest of her life.
It's alleged that he was on the verge of confessing the number of people he had been involved with and identifying his clients before he suspiciously died by suicide, something even his own family doesn't believe.
I heard that my brother was dead. I actually heard it on CNN. That the government did not notify me, as they've claimed. I thought, okay, he killed himself. At the time, I had no reason to doubt it, and I just figured that was his decision, and I respected it. I grieved the loss of a brother, but it was his decision. But then, after the autopsy was done and all the other information started coming out, it became apparent that it was not a suicide. When you looked at the autopsy results, the photographs we have of the body, the details of the mark on his neck, compared to the way they said he was hanging, nothing matches up. If you looked at all of these facts and evidence, you would not come up with the conclusion that it was a suicide, other than the fact that Bill Barr made that ridiculous statement about it being a suicide, and the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, overrode the actual pathology autopsy and declared it a suicide.
And this man continued to fuel even more intriguing suspicions.
My brother wasn't a flight risk, and he's my brother. I didn't care. And then bail was denied, which is why he was in jail. And then they were going to appeal the decision for bail, and Jeffrey was putting up a pretty big bail, and they asked me for the appeal if I would guarantee his bail. And I agreed, in essence doubling it. So there was a chance he might have gotten bail. And that hearing was scheduled, I think, for the 12th, in a couple of days. So then I'm thinking, if he was going to kill himself, wouldn't he wait to after the bail hearing? Because if he got bail, he'd be living in his house with an ankle monitor and armed guards and cameras, so he wouldn't disappear anywhere. Not that I thought he would try. And then if bail was denied again, then it would be a more compelling argument for him to kill himself if he wanted to. A few days before the bail hearing makes no sense.
But what he says next is truly shocking.
They wanted to kill Jeffrey Epstein, right? They had to assume he was about to talk and give information about some, high-profile people. Otherwise, what would be the incentive to kill him? Did you ever get an understanding from your brother that he was going to talk about anything, that he was going to be a government witness? I mean, because I'm trying to understand what the motivation would be for him to be murdered in prison.
Well, I believe you're right. Again, that's things I tend not to do. Yes, Jeffrey did have... I didn't speak to Jeffrey while he was in prison.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to Jeffrey was the night before he flew home when he got arrested. He called me from France, and we just had a normal conversation. And the next day he came home and he was arrested. And that's the last time I spoke to him. I did not see him in prison.
And you know who else has been sued for trafficking and abusing children? Diddy. Initially, he was just under investigation for his connection to Jimmy Henchman, but now he's facing actual lawsuits as more people come forward claiming they were abused as minors. In an exclusive interview with Banfield on News Nation, Courtney Burgess stated that she received 11 flash drives containing at least 8 sex tapes involving Diddy and 8 celebrities. Burgess testified before the grand jury in the Southern District of New York, revealing that 2 to 3 of those celebrities were minors.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of...
this is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
appear
they
to be.
were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me
be,
rephrase
right,
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Burgess was asked if the individuals in the videos were aware they were being recorded, and he confirmed that cameras were hidden in private areas, including locations where people would expect privacy, such as bathrooms. During his interview with Banfield on News Nation, Courtney Burgess revealed that, in addition to the sex tapes featuring Diddy and several celebrities, the flash drives he received also contained what seemed to be a manuscript.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
Burgess stated that the manuscript appeared to be based on private journals belonging to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, though it's unclear who authored it. There's certainly a lot to unpack regarding the Kim Porter situation.
Things are happening that nobody spoke on. Why is that a person can say that they left at 8 in the morning and Kim was alive, and 11, she's dead? Some foul play, bro.
If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed?
It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their name. Listen to me. There's a couple of women, probably more than a handful, but I know about 4 of them that knows everybody's dirty secret. And if those secrets get exposed and tell what some of these guys and some of these people were really doing behind the closed doors, in the boardroom, in and out the closet, that their life would be in danger. Because men wasn't men, and women were acting like men. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Jaguar Wright offers a compelling explanation.
Who was Diddy's PR team? The smartest thing for you to do would be create your own version of the Kim Porter book. And make sure it gets pushed out there first, so anything that comes after will always be held in question. It's brilliant. It's great spin. Get his version out before the real version come out. Y'all better believe everything that Al B. Shore says. It's about to get disgusting. See, this is the thing. Kim's official book was never sent out to anybody in complete form.
His attorney noted that Burgess didn't make any changes to the document, but it was unclear whether he received the manuscript from a man or a woman. When asked if the manuscript was genuinely based on Kim Porter's diaries, Burgess confirmed that it seemed authentic. He also mentioned that he had spoken with Porter just 6 hours before her death, which reinforced his belief that the document was tied to her personal experiences.
Whatever Puff could do, whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do, whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wouldn't let that happen unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, they all party together, man. He used Kim for that shit, bro.
Wow, so he used Kim for that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't do that to somebody you're supposed to love, man.
However, questions remain about the detailed dialogue in the manuscript, with Burgess acknowledging that some might find it hard to recall such specifics from the past. It appears that Diddy is increasingly at risk of being silenced in jail, as federal authorities confirmed that during a recent sweep of the facility where he is being held, they seized drugs, homemade weapons, and electronic devices. This jail, which houses around 1,200 inmates, has faced heightened scrutiny following the fatal stabbings of 2 men earlier this summer, leading to murder charges against 5 inmates in connection with those incidents. Additionally, 4 other detainees and a guard are facing assault charges related to separate violent incidents. One case involved a man who was stabbed 44 times by 3 gang members, while another involved an inmate who was stabbed in the spine with a makeshift ice pick. Do you think Diddy could face a similar fate? Let us know in the comments below.